If you had $10,000 right now, what would you do with it? That amount could be the turning point of your financial life. Get it right, and that money can multiply into hundreds of thousands over time. Get it wrong or leave it sitting, and you'll be throwing away a fortune that will never come back. In this video, you'll discover how to invest your first $10,000 following financial lessons the ancient Stoics already taught. This Stoic guide will reveal exactly what to do with that money to build real and lasting wealth. Let's begin. 1. Why the first 10,000 matters most. There's something powerful about reaching your first $10,000 that goes far beyond the money itself. It's concrete proof that you have discipline, that you can delay gratification and build something solid when everyone around you is spending without thinking. That amount represents emotional stability, that feeling of having a cushion that protects you from life's turbulence. When someone has that amount saved, decisions change completely in nature. You no longer need to accept any bad job just because bills are due, or say yes to questionable opportunities out of financial desperation. Freedom begins here. Marcus Aurelius said we must strengthen ourselves internally before facing the external world, and having your first $10,000 is exactly that in practice. It's building a financial fortress that gives you the power of choice, not just survival. Watching the balance grow month after month creates a virtuous cycle, where each small victory feeds the next. However, there's a crucial detail that most people ignore, and that can be the difference between stagnation and exponential growth. Money sitting idle is like a seed that was never planted, with all the potential to become a tree, but condemned to rot without use. This is where the most important decision comes in, making that amount work in your favor. But before rushing to invest on impulse, there's a foundation that needs to be solid. Skipping this step is the mistake that separates those who build wealth from those who lose everything at the first setback. 2. The foundation of your wealth. Before thinking about multiplying your money, there's an inconvenient truth that many people prefer to ignore. You need an emergency fund. It sounds boring, sounds way too conservative, I know. But the Stoics understood that true strength comes from preparation, not from luck. Seneca warned that we must prepare for storms while the sea is calm, and this has never been truer than in the financial world. Think with me. What happens when your car breaks down, the fridge stops working, or you lose your job out of nowhere? Those without this reserve end up making desperate choices. Being forced to sell your belongings at the last minute, taking on debts with absurd interest rates, accepting anything out of panic. Discipline begins here, in this seemingly simple decision to set aside money for emergencies. The rule is clear. If you live alone, have at least 3 months of expenses saved in an easily accessible place. If you have family or dependents, that amount rises to 6 or even 9 months, because the responsibility is greater and emergencies can cost more. It's not about being pessimistic, it's about being realistic and strategic with the first $10,000 you've earned. That money should stay in a separate account, accessible, but away from daily temptation. It doesn't need to earn much, because the goal isn't profit, it's security. It's knowing you have a shield while you learn how to invest the rest intelligently and with a long-term vision. Have you ever been through that struggle of not having money when you needed it most? Yeah, everyone's been there. And that's exactly why skipping this step is a mistake that can cost you dearly. With this foundation ready, then you can look at what really matters. And when you understand the difference between leaving everything sitting and actually investing, there's no turning back. 3. Why investing beats saving. A savings account has always been seen as the safe place, that little corner where money sits quietly waiting for you to need it. But here's a truth few people stop to see. Leaving everything in a traditional savings account is, in practice, losing money every month. Yes, you read that right. While it gives you a measly 0.5% to 1% per year, inflation is there, silently eroding the purchasing power of your first $10,000. The Stoics spoke about using time in our favor, about acting with wisdom while we still have the opportunity. Epictetus said we cannot control the external world, but we can control our choices, and choosing to leave money sitting when it could be working is wasting the most valuable resource you have, time. Each year that passes without investing is a year of growth you'll never get back. Now compare. While a savings account gives you less than 1%, diversified investments can yield an average of about 7% to 8% per year in the long term. Sounds like little? Let's do a hypothetical exercise. If you take $10,000 and let it grow at 8% per year, in 10 years you'd have approximately $21,600. In 20 years, more than $46,000. That's without adding a single cent more, just through the discipline of letting money work. This difference happens because of something powerful called compound interest. But hold on, we'll talk about that in a moment. The point here is simple. The savings account gives you the illusion of security while slowly robbing your future. You think you're protecting your money, but you're actually watching it lose value every year that passes because of inflation. You know that feeling of doing everything right, saving every month, but still not getting anywhere? That's exactly what happens when you only save and don't invest. The money is there, but it doesn't really grow. And the longer you take to realize this, the more growth opportunities you let slip away. The good news is that understanding how to invest isn't rocket science. And when you discover the power behind compound interest, this financial lesson changes everything. That's when true wealth building begins. 4. Understanding the power of compound interest. Compound interest is that concept everyone's heard of, but few truly understand the impact it has on financial life. The idea is simple. You earn returns on the money you invested, and then you start earning returns on those returns too. It's literally money generating more money in a cycle that feeds itself over time. Albert Einstein supposedly called this the eighth wonder of the world, and it's no exaggeration. In the early years, growth seems slow, almost imperceptible. You look at the balance and think it's not worth it, that you should be doing something else with that money. But that's exactly where most people quit, without understanding that the true power of compound interest only appears after years of accumulation. It's like planting a tree. At first you only see a thin branch, but with patience it transforms into giant shade. The Stoics always preached the virtue of patience and long-term vision. Marcus Aurelius taught that nature is never in a hurry, but everything is accomplished in due time. Applying this discipline to your first $10,000 is exactly that. Trusting the process, resisting the temptation to touch the money, and letting time do the heavy lifting. You know what makes more difference than trying to time your purchases? It's consistency. Small, regular contributions, even if they're modest amounts, far outperform that strategy of waiting for the perfect timing. Many people become obsessed trying to time the market, waiting for the perfect low to enter or trying to sell at the top. But that's an illusion, and usually those who try lose more than they gain. True wealth comes from those who plant, forget, and let time transform seeds into forests. And when you combine this mindset with the right choices of where to put the money, then you have a powerful formula. 5. The first million recipe. Now comes the part everyone wants to know: where to put those first $10,000 so they actually grow. The first answer might surprise you, but it's the smartest of all. If your company offers a retirement plan with matching like a 401k, start there. When the employer matches your contribution, it's literally free money, a guaranteed 100% return right away. Not taking advantage of this is leaving salary on the table. After that, look at accounts with tax benefits like Roth IRA or traditional IRA. These accounts allow you to grow money without paying taxes on gains for years, or even withdraw tax-free in the future, depending on the type. The Stoics spoke about working with what's within our reach, and using these tools is exactly that, playing with the rules in your favor. Only after maximizing these options does it make sense to move to regular investment accounts, where you'll pay taxes on gains. And here's an important detail. Taxes eat a significant part of your returns over time, so the more you can defer or avoid this legally, the better. Many people think about buying real estate as their first investment, and look, real estate can be great, but it requires a lot of initial capital, management time, and constant maintenance. For those starting with $10,000, it's not the most practical or liquid option. The most sensible choice for beginners is diversified funds like S&P 500 index funds or total market index funds. They give you exposure to hundreds of companies at once, reduce risk, and historically deliver consistent returns in the long term. But there's a detail that goes unnoticed and can rob thousands of dollars from you over the years: management fees. Funds with high fees of 1% or more may seem like little, but when you do the math over 20 or 30 years, the difference is brutal. Every penny saved on fees is a penny that keeps working for you, growing with compound interest. 6. Final best practices. Before putting a single cent of your first $10,000 into investments, pay off your expensive debts. Credit cards with 20% interest or more are destroying any chance of growth. It doesn't make sense to seek 8% returns while you're paying 20% interest, does it? After that, build your emergency fund as we discussed before. 3 to 6 months of expenses saved gives you freedom to invest with mental clarity. Take advantage of company retirement plans and tax-advantaged accounts. These tools were made to work in your favor. Use them with intelligence and discipline. Automate your investments. Set up automatic monthly transfers to your fund or brokerage. When investment is automatic, you remove emotion from the equation and guarantee consistency. You know that excuse, "Can't do it this month, I'll skip it." Well, automation ends that. No need to remember, no need to decide. It just happens. And here's the most important practice of all. Stop checking your balance every day. Yes, I know it's hard, the temptation is strong. But investing is passive, it's long-term. It's not a video game where you need to act all the time. The more you monitor, the more you're tempted to tinker, and tinkering usually means making emotional mistakes. These simple practices are what separate those who turn 10,000 into real wealth over decades from those who stay in the same place their entire lives. And when you put together everything you learned here, the result becomes inevitable. Your first $10,000 isn't just a number, it's the foundation of your future freedom. Your first million starts here. And everything you learned is useless if it stays just theory. The Stoics didn't preach empty knowledge, they demanded action. Think about it. 10, 20 years from now, will you look back and be grateful you started today, or will you regret having postponed once again? The difference between building wealth and living financially trapped is in the choices you make now. Leave in the comments what was the most important financial lesson you took from this video. Your experience can help other people on this journey. If this video brought you value, like it, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who's rethinking the way they deal with money. Stay on the path to prosperity. Until we meet again.